Welcome to WRTR Real Talk Radio. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests
and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organizations or institutions. This podcast is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered legal, financial, or professional advice.
While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, we make no representations or warranties of any kind, express or implied, about the completeness, accuracy, reliability, or availability with respect to the podcast or the information, products, services, or related graphics contained in the podcast.
Any reliance you place on such information is strictly at your own risk. In no event will we be liable for any loss or damage, including, without limitation, indirect or consequential loss or damage, or any loss or damage whatsoever arising from loss of data or profits arising out of or in connection with the use of this podcast.
By listening to WRTR Real Talk Radio, you acknowledge that you understand this disclaimer and agree to its terms. Enjoy the show.
WRTR Real Talk Radio. Featured guest DJs, original shows, music news, the hottest DJs from around the world.
Well, it's the Ides of March, folks, and I'm really hoping for an encore. And most of y'all probably didn't get that, but the Ides of March, which is March 15th, our recording day today, is a date on the Roman calendar historically marked by the 44 BC assassination of Julius Caesar, symbolizing a treacherous turning point that ended the Roman Republic, just history. As we welcome you to a new week here on WRTR Real Talk Radio. That was a real nerd moment, but it's fine. If you can hear my voice, congrats. We made it to another week together. You can call me Marcus Smoot.
And you can call me Miss Lyric Bravado. Hey, y'all.
I was in nerd mode. My bad.
It's okay.
I've been reading a lot.
My brain is just waking up, so.
But you've had an exciting weekend, though. I've been sitting here literally reading all weekend. I caught up on the war stuff because I've divested, because a lot of times when you hear news, you invoke that same emotion that it's told to you in.
Right.
It helps me to sometimes sit down and read shit. They talking about Bibi might be up out of here. Did you hear that? Netanyahu. Nobody's seen him in press conferences. It was being rumored or reported that he suffering from some of them injuries. So what's going on out here?
Oh, really?
Here in these war streets, because that's what happens when you start some shit that you cannot finish. Them niggas told you. Iran said, ho, don't do it. Don't start none, won't be none. So, yeah, how's your mood?
Well, my mood is chaotic.
Okay, tell me why.
I've just been busy and tired and still having to get up and do stuff. And
I hate adulting.
Adulting sucks.
It does. I was stupid.
I did it. I didn't.
Couldn't wait.
I didn't sign up for the I'm tired, my body's weary package of 2026.
Right. I just wanted freedom from bedtime and people telling me that I'm going to hell because I'm a fag. That's all I wanted in adulthood. And y'all came with all this other bullshit. So.
So that's about it. I ain't got nothing really coming up too much that I can talk about. Okay. That's about it.
Well, your hair looks nice at the very least. And I love...
Thank you.
Are you selling merch now?
No. This is what I got for my birthday.
Okay. It's the most customized shirt.
For my husband.
Okay.
I got DJ equipment because I've been wanting that for a long time now. And every time we went into like the Guitar Center, I would like scurry off into that section. And he'd have to come looking for me. And I would be mixing. And so... I got surprised with a DJ set up on my birthday, so that was nice. And he made me a shirt. Says DJ Lyric on it.
Okay. Well, remind me to ask you a question out of, when we get out of this segment, because I got something to ask. But anyways,
okay.
Let's see. My mood. I'll say triumphant this week. to be honest. Yeah, because my mood has been fuck ass awful because I work near an airport And you can literally, I'm not going to say which, but it's in the DMV. Y'all know I live in the DMV. It ain't but 3 airports, major ones anyways. And you can literally hear and feel the vibrations of planes overhead daily. Mm-hmm. And with y'all's president showing us his very little ability to like make good decisions, my mood, it's been all over the place.
Yeah.
And my
but
anxiety,
you got through it.
My anxiety every time I hear a plane, it shoots out of my mind. Plus, did you hear that shit that happened at the airports right now?
No.
What you want, from ABC or CNN?
It don't matter.
Well, Josh, this is certainly something you don't see on a Friday very often. I'm going to step out of the way here, and if you look behind me, you will see basically no activity here at Reagan National Airport. No planes taking off, no planes landing, and it's not just here. All 3 major local airports, BWI Marshall, Dulles, and here, have temporary ground stops at this point. This is what we know right now. We don't have a lot of details, but we do know that what's called Potomac Tracon. Now, that is based out of Warrenton in Fauquier County, and it helps with air traffic control in the region. There is apparently a chemical smell there, the FAA is telling us, that is affecting some of the air traffic controllers there. So because that is affecting them and they're apparently getting them away from the chemical smell, for that reason, they've had to do a ground stop at, again, all 3 major local airports. This is not something you see very often here. And again, you just see no activity whatsoever behind me at Reagan National Airport. At this point, we don't know how long this temporary ground stop could last, but of course every minute it goes on, it's going to potentially throw the flights into chaos. And of course Friday is a very busy travel day, so at this point no flights taking off. I have seen some landing at places like Dulles that were already in the air, but outside of that, planes are just sitting there on the tarmac at all 3 major local airports right now. Obviously, we're going to continue to follow this, but for now, reporting live at Reagan National Airport, I'm Tom Rousey, 7 News.
His toupee is flying off.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I sent it to you. That's why I sent it to you.
That shit was...
Yeah, it was fluttering about. And did you hear about the windstorms? Did you hear about the windstorms that are coming this week here in the DMV?
We have some major news right now. We're about to see a very rare weather event, a very rare severe weather event happen tomorrow, especially if you live in this red area. Why? Because for only the 3rd time in the last 13 years, Washington, D.C. and some of these other areas are now in a, quote, 4 out of 5 risk level for severe weather tomorrow. That includes tornadoes and more. Damaging winds up to 75 miles per hour and tornadoes are the biggest threat if you live in this red area. But this entire area is now susceptible for a severe weather event that doesn't happen this time of year. It doesn't really happen well at the end of winter or even early spring. The Storm Prediction Center is warning that tornadoes, potentially strong damaging winds, are most likely from South Carolina all the way up to Maryland. And be prepared. It's going to happen all afternoon tomorrow. DC doesn't get tornadoes, but we could very well see one, if not multiple, tomorrow, and strong ones at that. So spread the word.
I heard a little bit of it, but
on the East Coast?
The wind has been crazy these last couple of days.
Yes.
Like, that shit woke me up out my sleep. I was like, what? Is Jesus coming back? What is going on here?
Listen.
I'm turning around, looking out the window. The trees is going crazy. I'm like, oh, no.
And then you have these windstorms coming in, and I got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, it's crazy. We already had winter, fall, spring, and summer all in the same hours.
Like, yes. I was like, what is happening?
That day was insane. I woke up and it was raining. My mom called me, so I called her back. She was like, is it snowing there? I said, what you mean snow? I said, it ain't snowing out here. I looked out the window. I said, it's raining. She was like, it is literally snowing out here.
Yeah.
I said, ain't no way.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. It was just 87 degrees yesterday. What you mean?
It started around noon for me.
Yep.
I had just gotten off lunch.
By the time I got off the phone with her, maybe like 20, 30 minutes later, it was snowing outside. Yep. I said, what the hell is happening here?
We ain't talking little small flakes. We talking about them. I had to clean off the car before I went home from work. Yes. Yep. I was like, okay, this is strange. What the fuck is happening?
And look, and then by 4 or 5 o'clock, it was like nothing ever happened. Mm-hmm. I said, what? I was so confused.
I feel like I'm being put to the test as far as my anxiety for this upcoming week, because you got planes that already unnerve me. They fly overhead. They make a very loud noise. That's already going to catch you off guard. Again, I work right to an airport. And I'm not talking about close to, I'm talking about like right to that bitch to where when you hear that shit, it sounds like it's coming over. You got that. On top of strong wind about to happen. On top of y'all President wildin', baby. And I quit coffee. I quit coffee this week too, so it makes sense that my mood is off. Yeah. So my mood has been ranging from one extreme to the next.
Why you quit coffee though?
Honestly, I checked off all of the things that I've been doing to kind of change the course of my life based off, like, okay, so let's all be honest. We come from a DNA line, all of us. Mm-hmm. And when you come from a DNA line, you then inherit the traits of the people prior to you. People in my family, they have issues with their heart, issues with their mental health. They have issues with a lot of different things, lungs, cancer, diabetes. It's all up in there. So as I've gotten older and as I've kind of, done the kind of walk to, kind of fix myself, I've made changes. And I've never smoked, so that was never an issue. I stopped drinking. Well, I do wine now. Red meats and beef, I don't do anymore. I'm allergic to seafood, so it's only like so much shit that I can do.
Yeah.
Stress management, mental healing, and now stopping caffeine and stuff to help with my heart.
Why don't you try the Rise coffee?
No. Well, okay, and that's another thing. So again, I'm trying to divest also from big business. I think that Americans, especially Black America, I think that we need to accept that some things are about to radically change for a lot of us. And these changes are going to affect our day-to-day in what we put our money into and how we move. And I think a lot more people need to start paying attention to these very, very significant changes coming, very, very soon and very, very quickly. But, and I really want to get rid of vices. And I mean, as far as coffee goes, my mood is, like I said, it's been from one thing to the next, but I am noticing the difference in everything. As far as my energy goes, I'm still fine, like as far as energy. So I don't think it provided that, but I think that kind of worked its way into regulating how my anxiety worked.
Yeah.
So it's about getting back to that baseline. So surprisingly, I've been able to get it together and, come out with halfway of a smile. Progress, bitches.
I know that's right.
Yeah, because, my baseline is already ill. You got pedos running the country. Shit. You got people writing this goddamn podcast asking why I don't like feet. My tax money's being sent to fund something called the Department of War, where they're real life bombing children in other countries. Attorney generals are like, sex trafficking, rape, girl. Have you seen the Dow? All while your president is getting rid of men and women's sports while he's at the same time accepting their hand-me-down pizza awards. So I'm not well, but I'm better. I'm getting there. Who you want to be like when you grow up? Hopefully not me, because I'm in trash right now.
I think I do now. Let's see. Who do I want to be when I grow up? I want to be a millionaire.
Do you see what is happening to the rest of
I didn't say I wanted to be a millionaire here,
okay.
But I want to be like
William
McDonald, who made history as the first Black millionaire in Texas.
Work.
Yep. He was a trailblazing businessman, banker, and political leader born to formerly enslaved parents.
Wow.
He built his wealth through real estate, insurance, and baking. McDonald also became a prominent figure in the civil rights movement, championing Black empowerment through education and entrepreneurship. So that's who I'm trying to be like, yeah.
I know that's right. Wow, okay. What I want to be able to literally just afford and have the things that I want. That's it. I don't want any more, any less. I don't need material things to tell me that I'm better than anybody. That's, people just want to show up, be with the people they like, and go home.
Facts.
But when I grew up, my mindset was highlighting black women for Women's History Month.
Okay.
And I came
Let's hear it.
across some info over on blackamericaweb.com. They have a page about black women making history so far in 2026.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Megan Thee Stallion is set to make history as the first female identifying performer to play character Zidler in Moulin Rouge, the musical, on Broadway.
What? Go ahead, Meg.
I hear you. Yep, Megan Thee Stallion breaking down barriers yet again. Mama, I definitely want to be like you this week as we again highlight Women's History Month here on March 2026. Are you ready to answer some listener letters?
Sure, why not? Let's get to it.
All right. If It Were Lyric, up next.
Okay, so I need to say this because a lot of people genuinely don't know. And honestly, I didn't either for a long time. Native Americans were enslaved. They were captured, they were forced into labor, and in many cases shipped far away from their homelands. But, and this part matters, it was not the same system as African chattel slavery. Different logic, different structure, different end goal. Still violent, still dehumanizing, just built for a different purpose. So, let me explain. In the early days of colonization, the 1500s, 1600s, native enslavement was actually more common than African slavery in some regions. Colonizers captured people after raids, wars, or outright kidnappings and forced them to work in households, plantations, mines, construction. And here's the part people really don't know. Native people were shipped away. Not just moved down the road, but shipped out of their territory entirely, to the Caribbean, to other colonies. Anywhere far enough that they couldn't return home. That was the point, though. Break resistance, erase connection to land, destroy tribal continuity. But here's where it diverges from chattel slavery. Native enslavement wasn't race-based for life in the same way. It wasn't a fully codified hereditary system, where your status automatically passed down to your children. Blackness itself was the justification. People were legally defined as permanent property. African chattel slavery in America was built to be total, inheritable, and endless. Native enslavement was more about removal and control. Colonizers wanted land without the people, weakened nations, fewer organized communities to fight back, which is why native slavery often followed warfare. Another key difference is that native people knew the land, because it's their land. They escaped more often, they resisted differently. They could disappear in ways that enslaved Africans couldn't, because Africans were deliberately stripped of their language, their kinship, and geography. So colonizers decided that native slavery was harder to control, less profitable, and more dangerous. And that's when African chattel slavery expanded aggressively. Not because native people were treated better, but because African enslavement was easier to institutionalize. And even when native slavery declined, the coercion didn't. Indigenous people were still forced into labor contracts, imprisoned and leased out, had children taken into domestic servitude, sent to boarding schools that functioned like labor camps. Different names, same goal. So, I want to be really clear here. Native Americans weren't enslaved in the same way as Africans, but they were enslaved, they were sold, they were shipped away. And that history gets erased because it doesn't fit the simplified version that people were taught. And when you erase that, you erase how intentional colonization really was. But once you understand it, a lot of American history starts making more sense. Land theft, broken treaties, forced removals. Why survival itself was framed as resistance, because it always was. Knowing the difference doesn't lessen the harm. It actually tells the truth.
Maybe not what you should do, but definitely she would. If it were lyric.
What's up, you guys? This is your girl, Miss Lyric, and I'm back with my segment, If It Were Lyric, where I discuss your relationships, situationships, and friendships, and everything in between, and I give my 2 cents about it. If you want to continue to send me your advice and stories and whatever else, except for dick pics.
Don't do that.
Send them to my email at lyricbravado@gmail.com. Much appreciated, much obliged.
Except
and
for
I
the
will
dick pics.
discuss them here on the segment.
Actually, you should
Now let's
bring the
get
dick
started.
pics so we can discuss them on air. Because, what? Okay. Ashy dick. Dirty ass. Okay, cool.
All right, this first one is from Renee from Delaware. Okay, Delaware.
Okay, tax free.
I'm jealous.
Me too.
All right. This one says, Dear Lyric, first of all, I love your show. Please tell Marcus he's hilarious and I love him so much.
Oh,
He
no.
makes me laugh.
Anxiety.
But I have a question for you. Please help me.
Oh, God.
My boyfriend of 4 years was messaging men sexually for a year.
Work, friend. No, I'm playing. That's awful. No, really, it's awful. I'm so, my heart goes out, girl. No, it really does. No.
And this is why I picked that.
No, honestly, that sucks.
I went through his iPad when he was out at a football game and couldn't believe what I saw. There were over 100 men he had been messaging for over a year.
Oh my God.
But also some women who are much older than him. And telling
milfs.
them to meet him, but he claims he never met them and did anything physically and says he was experimenting.
Okay.
But I can't believe that.
Okay.
He's never been a manly man. But I never thought he would do this to me. I feel so betrayed. He says he still loves me and wants to be with me, but I can't see him the same anymore. I feel disgusted. He also had multiple apps to text people anonymously, but when I mentioned that, he denied it. And he said he had no idea what I'm on about, but what also confuses me, he's cheated once before. But with a girl. I don't understand and can't believe that he's straight, but he keeps saying he is. I've told him I'm not going to judge him and I will listen to him if he is bi or gay, and that is okay, but he shuts me down. What can I do to help him? It's also making me feel insane. I need some advice about this.
Do you want it to come from me or you? Because she's not going to like my answer.
Oh!
No. And it's not going to come out mean or anything. It's just going to come out very matter of fact. And maybe you would be the better person to answer.
Let's see if we're on the same mind frame.
Break up with him.
There you go.
But here, we both think that you should break up with him. But what is your reasoning, you Lyric?
My reasoning is because regardless if it was man or woman, he was still deceitful.
Oh, we cooking. Okay, I'm listening.
He was still deceitful. He's cheated already. And that's a pattern of unchanged behavior. He was doing that for a year. He made a conscious decision to do something behind your back. Regardless if he did it physically or not, he crossed the boundary. Now you're uncomfortable. You will never view him the same. Break up with him. That's it. That's all.
Okay. Then I'll leave it alone. This is your
segment.
segment.
If you want to...
Okay. I would just take it a step further and say, recognize what your boundaries are, because while at the same time that you're saying that you have this open door and you will compromise if he's bi or gay, earlier in that same letter, you're talking about how you're disgusted that he could be with another man. So I think in your journey, you should probably unpack how you feel about men that have sex with other men and whether or not that alone is a deal breaker for you, because for some women it simply is, and that's okay if that's your tea, but you need to recognize it as such, because you can't, like a lot of these same women out here that advocate and want to be besties with gay men, at the same time sometimes take jabs if they feel like a man within close proximity to them or something they thought was masculine. They oftentimes double down on that whole homophobia kind of idea when it comes to that. So I think in your journey, sis, maybe it would, just be worth the maybe visit down the idea that maybe you're not okay with that in your own sex life, which again is okay, but up to you to unpack.
I agree. It's a personal choice whether you want to deal with that or not.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So this one seems like it comes from a CW show. It says, Dear Lyric. Let's see. Her name for the letter is Renee. I invited
Two Renees.
I know, right? And it's super gay today. I invited. Oh yeah, it's raining fags. I invited my male friend out to the bar with me last night before going to trivia at a restaurant. I was drunk, and he got a few drinks in there, and some of my friends from trivia invited us out afterwards. He ended up going to another bar, getting a few shots, and then headed over to a small club. While there, we all got a drink and were just dancing with one another. I would like to preface that he has been in a long-distance relationship for almost 2 years now and has cheated on her before, and that I am a lesbian. Again, I said it's raining gays. Him and I have been friends for almost 2.5 years, and neither one of us have ever had any interest in being more than friends. While we were dancing together, and I thought it was all for fun and games, he tried to kiss me and told me he had a girlfriend. Said he didn't care, and he did it anyways. I didn't know what to do afterwards, so I pulled away and went over to my other friend's house. The rest of the night, he was all over me, and I was uncomfortable, and I kept pushing him away, and my friends started to notice. When we left the bars, my friend stayed with me, but evidently, I had to take him home. I denied him multiple times in the car, so nothing else happened, but I feel this overwhelming guilt, even though I didn't want this to happen. I've only told one of my friends about it, besides the ones who were there last night. When I woke up this morning, I had a text from him saying he wanted to call because he didn't remember what had happened. He only remembered bits and pieces, but I have yet to tell him about the kiss because I don't want to be the one who breaks up him and his girlfriend. Should I tell him or her? And how do I make this guilt go away? I've never once in my life been inclined to kiss or be with him. So this is also very hard to process. I know you ain't a gay girl, but if it were you, how do you think you'd handle it? With love and light, Renee.
Honesty is the best policy. Just tell them, like, look, you kissed me or you tried to kiss me. It was very uncomfortable. I think you need to limit the amount of alcohol that you consume when we go out.
So you would tell him that, or you would tell the girlfriend?
I would tell him that, and I would tell the girlfriend, look, like, this happened. I did not start it. Mm-hmm. He tried to kiss me or did kiss me or whatever happened. I pulled away. Tell her the same conversation you had with him, and let it be known if he crosses this boundary again, we can no longer hang out. We can't be friends.
True.
Because you need to know that I have a girlfriend. You need to respect that. You have a girlfriend. You need to respect your situation too. Like, it's unacceptable. And if you cannot handle your liquor, then maybe we should find other places to hang out that doesn't require alcohol, so it doesn't happen again.
True. What are your other
That's what I would do.
Yep, I agree.
That's it. That's all.
I'm not leading authority
That's all
shit.
I got.
I'll be figuring this shit out too, but okay, sure.
Because what?
I mean,
yeah, I would. That's definitely a blame it on the liquor moment. Because if he can't even remember only bits and pieces,
do you
he
ever
definitely
think,
drank too much.
Okay, so flashback to our 20s and stuff, Lyric. Do you ever think that some of them stories that we was hearing, I mean, you know, not speaking specifically on incidents that you and I have been part of, but just out of all of the stories, have you ever stopped to question sometimes and be like, no, bitch, you remember that shit?
Sometimes.
You remember that shit. You was just trying to see how far you could take it or how
sometimes.
Like this, that, okay. Just, okay.
Sometimes.
Go with your gut, girl.
You know, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
I'll stop doing that. Wow.
But if it's super, super outlandish, no, you did that shit. She did state that they was going bar hopping and they was drinking on top of drinking. So I could see that happening. It's a possibility.
Okay. I mean, and then certain stuff is also embarrassing. Did you not remember it? Or is it maybe a little too embarrassing for you to admit that you remember? Because nigga that peed in my closet, I don't think I forgot you, nigga. There goes my security deposit.
Did you ever say something to them?
I'll tell you that one after we get off mic too.
That's insane.
Yep.
All right, y'all. That's all I have for this week. If you want to continue sending me your stories and advice questions and you want me to discuss them on air, please send them to my Gmail at lyricbravado@gmail.com. And until next time, I'll see you later.
We heard y'all bullshit. Now let's hear everybody else's. Trolling the timeline. Up next.
All right.
A Trump fundraising email that went out this week has quite the incentive attached. A promise to private national security briefings. The email also contains a picture of Trump at the dignified transfers of U.S. service members killed by an Iranian drone strike in Kuwait. Now, Trump is not the first political figure to offer special access to big donors per se, but to tease out private national security briefings and unfiltered updates on the threats facing America, that's not something we've ever seen a politician, let alone a president, use for fundraising. Also, dignified transfers are one of the most somber and significant moments a U.S. president can attend. It's a time-honored procedure featuring the return of the remains of a service member that has died. For a photo of that sacred moment to be used in a fundraising email has turned some heads. Emma Snow spoke with the director of the Elections and Government Program at the Brennan Center for Justice, who told us that it would be a blatant violation of the law to disclose any sort of classified information or secret information to donors. We've reached out to the White House and the Pentagon, but both have yet to comment.
Time to troll.
It's time to troll that timeline right here on WRTR. Lyric, what you got?
Ooh, let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4.
I got 4 too. Okay, this should be juicy. Okay, ladies first.
All right. Let's talk about BET announcing that the BET Plus app is shutting down and Paramount will be buying Tyler Perry's stake in the streaming service.
Oh no.
According to reports, Paramount is buying Tyler Perry's minority ownership stake in BET Plus. Perry previously owned about 25% of the streaming service through a deal he made with the company back in 2019. The details of the new deal have not been shared publicly. With the change, BET Plus will no longer operate on its own separate app. Instead, the shows and movies that are on BET Plus will be moved over to Paramount Plus starting in June 2026.
Oh no. I mean, okay, so can we, again, my opinion, but can we collectively admit that BET has kind of just been Tyler Perry Network? Can we? I mean, can we all kind of like get on that page? I don't want y'all attacking me because God knows y'all do it enough. Like, I don't think, and you know I'm pro-black everything, but I don't think that BET is operating the same way. It's not, in my opinion.
It's been very lackluster, honestly.
Right, like Tyler Perry. I'm just saying, BET don't BET the same way it used to BET. Oh, this is according to NBC News. Ex-NFL linebacker charged with killing girlfriend.
What?
But get this, he asked ChatGPT for advice before calling 911. Y'all children have fallen y'all fall further from, okay. You know what? Y'all have just got to hear this story.
Detectives say a former NFL player used ChatGPT for advice after killing his girlfriend, allegedly. Darren Lee is charged with first-degree murder after his girlfriend's body was found last month in Tennessee. Now prosecutors are presenting evidence, including body camera video and questions they say he asked ChatGPT. Sarah Hauer from our ABC affiliate in Chattanooga has the details.
She's putting saying there, that's why I called 911 immediately to go look at what is going on.
In this newly released body camera video, you can hear Lee tell deputies he doesn't know what happened.
What the hell happened? Like, I was sleeping a long time.
But prosecutors presented more than body camera video in court. They also introduced messages they say Lee sent to ChatGPT.
I wake up and she has 2 swollen eyes. I didn't do anything self-inflicted. She stabbed herself, split her eye.
That's a detective reading messages prosecutors say were sent the day before Lee called 911. Prosecutors also displayed the AI tool's response, which included the line, "Here's what to say," without framing it as police trouble. District Attorney Cody Womp told the court Lee used ChatGPT as a, quote, legal advisor.
He has conversations, dozens of conversations back and forth with ChatGPT over a 2-day period about what he did to Gabriella Perpetua. In detail. He asks how to cover it up. He asks what to say to 911.
Prosecutors say those exchanges help establish their timeline of events, something the head of UTC's Criminal Justice Department says raises broader questions.
The use of AI in criminal activity is something we're increasingly dealing with in the courts.
Dr. Rick Dierenfeld points to this recent federal ruling where a judge found conversations with a public AI platform are not protected by attorney-client privilege.
It's not privileged information. It's a third-party platform. So you've, in effect, waived your confidentiality. These user agreements, when you sign those, you're actually publishing anything that you enter there publicly.
Sarah Hauer, News Channel 9.
Sarah, thank you. And Darren Lee has not entered a plea yet.
So you see what I'm saying with, okay, I'm of so many minds right now, because I'm of three different ones actually, because I'm a 90s nerd. So my 90s nerd mind is like, to the jocks. But then I'm also like, my black man mind is like, wait, that's a black man. I hate to see a black man doing something dumb. But then at the same time, I'm like, you know what? We should talk about ChatGPT and some of these AI legislations that y'all keep trying to slide underneath the radar and get past us, because they are becoming a larger problem, because he's the one that got caught being high profile. How many of the other ones slipped under the radar that y'all just ain't caught up to yet? That's where my mind rests with this. So your thoughts?
How dumb can you be? Don't you have a lawyer you could have asked?
I mean,
you're gonna ask
no.
Chat GPT? What the fuck?
This is the thing. People are going in Chat GPT and prompting different shit. Oh my God, y'all are
He
not
should have
well.
called his lawyer. If you was gonna do all that, you should have called your fucking lawyer.
The lawyer would have said, don't kill the girlfriend. And I feel like his whole issue was trying to get away with killing the girlfriend.
I think he already did it already. So he should have just called the lawyer, and the lawyer could have advised him on how to go about it. Not Chat GPT. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, man?
Y'all don't ever think to call... Ask ChatGPT before you do it. It shouldn't there be a prompt? Well, you know what? It is this government, so I don't know. Whatever. I've never looked up how to murder someone, so I can't say what prompts do or do not exist, nor will I. What else?
Let's see. Jill Scott dropped another album.
Grits. Did she?
Mm-hmm.
Work.
And she's going on tour. Let's see when it starts. June 4th through November 11th.
Nice.
Looks
Okay.
like.
Jilly
It
making
looks
money.
like she's going to be traveling overseas to the UK. She's going to Africa as well.
Get back to your roots, sis.
Yep. And she'll be here
Leave me there.
in DC June 11th, June 13th, and June 14th.
Nice.
I need to see if I can get me some tickets, honey.
I think you should. All right. Okay. So you are from Virginia, right? So a fully nude intruder linked to at least 4 break-ins sought by Fairfax County Police. Have you heard about this?
No.
Okay. Naked burglar over in Virginia.
Police in Virginia are on the lookout for a naked burglar. And I get it. A guy running around town with no drawers on is pretty funny. But not if you wake up in the morning.
He said this on the news?
Yes.
With no drawers
Look at this
on.
map. 4 separate incidents, all happening at different houses, only about a half-mile away from each other. This is the London town area of Fairfax County. Here's what Fairfax County police have shared so far. On March 5th at about 5:15 in the morning, a person was getting ready for work in their bedroom when the suspect came in naked. Once confronted, the guy took off. The very next day, on March 6th, about a block away, a neighbor noticed a footprint smashed into their trash can lid. Police say it looks like someone was trying to stand on that lid to get up onto the person's balcony and maybe get inside. March 7th. 4:30 in the morning. Victim wakes up to their dog barking. They see the man, fully nude. He runs off. 23 hours later, now on March 8th, about a block away, another victim heard footsteps in their hallway, then saw the guy again fully nude standing in their doorway before he took off running. Fairfax County Police say right now they don't have any Ring doorbell video or any surveillance images of the guy. The description is really vague, and before you make the obvious joke, police think that this guy is walking through the neighborhood with his clothes on, getting into people's houses. These doors have been unlocked, windows have been unlocked, and then he's undressing himself once inside. Fairfax County Police say this has happened 4 times. They want to prevent a 5th. Neighbors are asked to go through their doorbell camera video, see if you see anybody acting suspiciously in those early morning hours, moving between houses in this neighborhood. And if so, reach out to police.
So, I mean,
First of all, I have a whole ass problem with some things. Why the fuck do y'all just have the description as a naked man? Was it a white naked man? Was it a Hispanic naked man? Was it an Asian naked man? Was it a black naked man? Did they have tattoos? Were they blonde? Were they brunette? Like, that's all y'all have to go on? Was it was a naked man?
Well, of course, because that's sensationalized, and that's what they can sell you, just like our show last week, because I put Dookie in the name description. We got more hits on that in our first plays than ever.
I told you.
You did. You literally said that on our off mic convo, and I was like, I ain't doing that. And then I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. And then here we sit in Dookie.
I told you.
I mean,
told you.
Okay. Tag, you're it. With a Dookie hand. Let's get some streams up. Let's go.
Okay, let's see. Do we care that NBC Universal cancels, what is that, Caramo show?
Who?
Access Hollywood, Caramo. I don't know how to say his name.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, got you.
He's canceled. So is Access Hollywood.
Well, of course, he's black and gay, and this is the Trump administration ruling shit right now. Absolutely.
And Steve Wilkos' show is also canceled amid an attempt to nix syndicated television shows.
Well, yeah, that makes sense for Steve Wilkos too, because Steve Wilkos will tell you that you're being a racist piece of shit, at least sometimes. Sometimes. So, you know, he got his shit with him too.
Access Hollywood's been on forever, I feel like.
No, yeah, it really has, actually.
Yeah.
I do remember Access Hollywood being around for a while.
That's crazy.
Trolling over to TMZ. Headline, Diddy. Judge gave me a way too harsh of a sentence. Oh, not Sean. Poor Sean. Lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs are arguing his sentence is far too harsh, accusing the judge in a new legal filing of punishing him for crimes which he was acquitted. The rapper's legal team filed an appeal Friday in which they point out a jury found Diddy not guilty of sex trafficking and RICO charges, yet Diddy received a sentence his lawyers say is roughly 4 times higher than normal.
Child, please.
For his prostitution related. For those convictions. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, poor Diddy, you know, because save baby oil or something. I don't know. Ketamine.
I'm trying to decide if I want to do this one.
What is it about?
Okay.
It looks, your face gives sad.
No. Dwight Howard. So, you know, he got married like maybe 2 or 3 years ago to Amy Luciano, who is a phenomenal rapper.
Okay.
Last week, she posted on her social media pages crying in the car.
Saw that.
Saying that her marriage was falling apart and it has landed her in a very dangerous position.
Okay.
Within that video, she goes on to talk about how her husband, who is Dwight Howard, needs help because allegedly he has a very bad cocaine habit. And within that video, she holds up a very large Ziploc bag.
Yeah, saw that.
Of what appears to be cocaine.
I could fry chicken in
Don't
that.
charge your ass with that shit, sis. Because believe you me, the police is watching.
Wow.
She also had a little, I don't know if you want to call it a vial, where she dumps it out. And people on Instagram were scared for her because she was sniffling and she dumped it in her hand, and she did a motion where she wiped her tears away and she had the residue on her hand, so they're worried that, you know, she might have sniffed some
Oh my God.
of the coke that she was demonstrating she had on her hand. But overall, it's a very sad situation because there's children involved and CPS is involved. I'm not sure all of what's going on within that household because she was very vague in telling what was going on. But the baby mom, who is Roy Cerise, who was on Basketball Wives, if I'm not mistaken, one of those shows, she's always said that from day one, and people crucified her for it. Said she was bitter, said she was a hater, said that she couldn't move on from him. They dogged and dragged her.
Wow.
And I remember that because she was speaking up for herself and telling her experiences, and she wasn't believed. Why? Because he's the one with the money and she was not.
Right. And also a woman and black.
So, you know, she had something to say.
I know she did.
So People were going on her after her posting what she had to say, and she says, "Who's laughing? This is sad as fuck. These kids should have never been in his custody." And she knew that, speaking of the wife.
Period.
Look at the past. She allowed it. She condoned
Period.
it. She participated in it. Crying now because she caught him lying on her is selfish as fuck.
Right.
If it was about the kids, she should have opened her damn mouth long time ago instead of leaving them for weeks to fend for themselves while you went on trips overseas.
Wow.
She said a lot more, but I'm not gonna read all of that.
No, that's fine. It's fine because my ADHD and when you start talking about that cocaine bag, I immediately started Googling cocaine fried chicken, and it brought me back to that article Bobby Brown had back in 2016 where he said he fried chicken and cocaine.
Oh, I remember that. I was like,
I don't know why my mind works like this, but whatever. Did you hear who your president has endorsed for public office?
No.
Just think of, well, no, he's had some pretty ridiculous, so I can't even give you a range. But this is according to Newsweek.com. Despite not running for office, influencer Jake Paul.
Shut up. I'm hanging up.
Appeared to receive support from President Trump while attending a recent event, should he decide to get into politics. And, you know.
Jake, you got to come up. Come here. You got to come.
Mr. Trump, we need more factories like this thriving all over the country, and I know he's going to be the one to bring that here to us. I know God is with us. I know he wants us on the right side of history. And everyone here has to do their part, and God's got us. Trump's got us. God bless. Love you, Kentucky.
And I just want to say, I'm going to make a prediction that you will be, in the not too distant future, running for political office. Okay? And you have my complete and total endorsement, okay? No, that's what we want. He's an incredible guy. A lot of courage and smarts.
Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah, that's what we want. We want more unqualified cisgender white men in the government holding the keys to our destiny. That's what we need right now. Yep, that's your president. Jake Paul, who can't even win a fight, let alone an election. But again, rich, white, influence. Well, not even influence, rich and white. Let's leave it at that. We hold the influence. But what you got left?
I know why BBL stink.
There's a number of reasons.
Well, here's the reason that makes the most sense. People that are getting BBLs and breast implants from donated cadavers. It's off-the-shelf fat.
What?
Of dead people.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Stop.
Yeah, cadavers. Dead people. Dead tissue.
Oh.
Across the country. Across the country, a growing number of patients are turning to injectable fillers made from the dearly departed's donated fat in order to lift, plump, and sculpt their bodies, including procedures like Brazilian butt lifts, otherwise known as BBLs, and breast enhancements. Many of the people in New York City especially are excited about this, particularly because some of their patients are very thin or maybe already had liposuction. This is coming from Dr. Melissa Doff, a board-certified plastic surgeon in Manhattan. What the entire fuck?
So
the filler is called Alloclay, and it hit the U.S. market last year, but it still isn't widely available. I'd say less than probably 5% of the board-certified plastic surgeons have it because it was a part of a small clinical trial in early 2025.
So imagine, you go down to the DMV, right? Department of Motor Vehicles. And while you're down there, you check that box. You being a good person. You say, I want to help science. I want to help somebody else with my organs, with my body, with whatever. And you check donor. And then, you go on and you die. And then when you get in the afterlife, you over there chilling. And then you look down and suddenly you find out that the body that you used to be in is now chopped up in some bitch's BBL. I hate it here. I Hate it here.
And this is why I put no donor.
Of course, I'm joking, but Emma, as we're wrapping up,
I'm not joking. I'm not joking. No, you will not be walking around with the lyric BBL. 50 years from now. Absolutely the fuck not. Yeah, right. Okay.
I wonder who up in your booty, girl. That shit is sitting. You had a bunch of bad bitches up in that left cheek.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because you got dead motherfuckers in there. You see dead people probably. Your ass. Every time your ass clap, a dead spirit comes out.
I see dead people in your ass. Gross. Every time you fart, a goddamn spirit escapes back into the ether. Oh, get me out of here. Oh, that is trifling and awful. And
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
I don't want any
Get
part
somebody
of that.
else to do it.
Yeah. All right. I think we've trolled enough. That was entirely too unseasoned behavior. Up next, Christ, get me out of here.
I mean, I'm gonna be real honest. The reason why I can't trust and forgive you is because I know that the whole reason why you were able to so easily fall into the mega cult is because you're a narcissist. Because the fact that you're at your big age telling us now that you're having to learn empathy and that empathy was not something that was inherent for you is a raging red flag, and it's tied to narcissism. See, I'm not trying to diagnose anybody, but I'm just saying people with narcissistic personality disorder can appear to have empathy when it benefits their image. But their primary focus is self-preservation and ego. It's all about protecting that ego. And other people's pain only registers according to how much that pain from the other person affects them personally. See, narcissism tends to cluster around certain trends like grandiosity. We're great. We're the best. We're number one. They have very fragile hidden egos. They have intolerance of any type of criticism and more of a it's us versus them worldview. See, research into political psychology shows that people with high collective narcissism view their group as exceptional, but also underrepresented and unfairly treated. And those beliefs fuel the fear of outsiders. See, it's not just a I'm special type of belief. It's my group is superior and also under attack. And that narrative fits very neatly into nationalist rhetoric, which is why we see so many white Christians that lean MAGA turn out to be narcissists. And they're all being led by a malignant narcissist. He has a need for loyalty. He's vindictive towards criticism or critics. He dehumanizes his opponents and has zero tolerance for dissent. And then he has that charisma they all talk about, and it gets paired with the cruelty that's in his heart. And see, that's where we see authoritarian movements centering themselves around people who think that they are the only one who can fix things, that he's the victim of conspiracies, and that he embodies the nation. He is the nation. Because look at how they worship that man. And the point at which it becomes a cult is when it's the identity fusion. If you attack him, you're attacking me. Their entire being and identity and who they see themselves as is wrapped up in him. And the belief in this group that they think are superior, but also under attack and needs a savior. So I'm sorry, I just can't trust somebody who comes from that belief system or who doesn't automatically have empathy within their hearts. Because what do you mean you're having to learn empathy at your big age of 30-something? You're having to learn to be empathetic to other people? I don't know, it just gives me the ick.
Marcus has your glimpse into a world without seasoning.
I'm starting off a bit deep, but I'm doing it to make a point before I get, sapio ratchet like y'all seem to like. So bear with me, I'm gonna put y'all on game, or whatever Kendrick said. Toward the end of his life, and I'm talking like 1967, 1968, Dr. King told Harry Belafonte, he said, quote, "I fear I am integrating my people into a burning house," end quote. Now, what he meant was that achieving integration and desegregation was futile if black people were just merely entering a broken, unequal, and unjust economic and social system destined for collapse. And I'm seeing more and more black creators on these apps kind of coming to a consensus that we're all kind of done. I've never seen us all be in alignment simultaneously on something else so emphatically. This is a show based on opinions and responses to things we see as we grow, learn, and know more about in the world around us. That being said, my thoughts are pulling more towards wanting to see a world where we never integrated. I ain't got no time machine. I'm not calling for race wars or anything crazy, but when you think about it, okay, you know what? Let me go about it another way. Think about back in science class where your teacher had you swab your mouth or whatever, and I don't know, y'all was dissecting roaches or whatever, and y'all was looking into a microscope, right? Remember bacteria? Remember germs? Now, remember parasites. And we all use the word parasite usually when we're talking about some kind of a infection or something harmful, right? So I believe universally, we know how parasites work. We're on the same page about it, right? They attach themselves to a host and they feed off of the host. They need the host to live so that they can feed and siphon their own energy and stuff, right? But parasites also simultaneously hurt the same host they're latched onto. And it's such a mind fuck when you think about how parasites work. Like, if you were latched onto me, especially on like a miniature cell level, I honestly probably wouldn't even give a shit. But when you continue to harm and hurt me, the parasite actually harms your body, mind you. The same body that it also needs to survive for itself. Its presence harms it. So now that we have the science of it all, sometimes the easiest way to kill a parasite is by starving it. It needs you to live, but you don't need it to live. When you starve it out, the parasite will eventually perish because it doesn't have anything else to latch its ass onto. Reminds me of something. And I'll just say, the biggest mind fuck was stealing people away from their native lands, enslaving them to work for you because you were seemingly a combination of incapable, incompetent, and lazy, and convincing those same people, out of their element, mind you, and stripped of their lineage, that we benefited by trying to gain close proximity to you. Black people, hear me today. We are the host. That's us, baby. We create, we build, we produce, and they either siphon or they parrot. Look at art. Look at how AI is being set up to replace art. Look at influence. Look at how AI and algorithms are set up to now mimic influence. Look at how batshit crazy some of these surgical alterations have been to match the desires and the features we simply hold in our DNA, but others want to emulate while at the same time telling us how less than we are. Fellas, our swagger, our physique, our standards, and our confidence, it's either sold back to us or it's criminalized. Getting back to Dr. King, I believe he knew it, which is why he has that famous quote that I read earlier. We already know where Malcolm X stood, like he was quite clear, but I believe them both to have believed the problem with segregation wasn't the fact that we were segregated. It was simply the fact that we weren't equal. Do y'all understand that? If we had equal footing, how much differently could things have looked for us as a collective? Now, I'm not God, nor do I have a time machine again to go back and forth in timelines, but I'd be willing to bet money that I don't have, that had our shit have been able to thrive without like burning it down or building cities over or burying it underwater or burning down businesses or kidnapping and lynching our families and shit, how much differently our destinies would have actually looked. And let's be clear, those things are still happening in today's year of 2026. Like, you don't like me, so why do you keep coming over here? You keep coming over here because the average black person minds their black ass business. Y'all don't like us. But every time that we thrive, every time that we start to show ourselves as equals, every time you think we might surpass you, there's chaos, there's death, there's burning, there's bloodshed. And every single time we got equal, they came and they fucked it up. And then they made it seem like we needed to earn their acceptance, that we needed to get into their spaces, be like them, have our hairs straightened, have our necks and chins and shit erupting in bumps and hair bumps and folliculitis and all of that shit because we are trying to achieve their standards. They convinced us that the only way to act was through them and doing things their way. But both history and lived experiences for so many have witnessed a species of humans that have consistently and disproportionately committed the greatest atrocities against humans, against humankind, against mankind, consistently, literally consistently throughout history, and even today. They've destroyed, they've dominated, they've shown us violence and every reason to not trust them collectively. And I know y'all about to be mad. I didn't say everybody, but believe me, better yet, go look at it yourself. The election results of 2024. That could serve as a visual aid if ever I need to make an argument of where the numbers fall in the majority category. Black people, we taught them how to tend to the land and how to receive it. You know, we taught them that. Had we not given them our skills by our blood, our sweat, our tears, who thinks that they would still be here to be allegedly blowing up girls' schools today? They planted that mindset in our communities, which laid the foundation of an environment that the parasite has always the host nearby, making the host feel like it owes the parasite itself. See that? The host is too, the actual host is too blinded with the goal of trying to prove to the parasite that it's worthy. And why shouldn't it siphon from it that the host deserves the parasite's acceptance? Think about how after the election results, hell, everybody wanted to create a purple party. White people were wearing black women were white merch and shit. Y'all remember that? It was just a year ago. They needed us. They still need us. And every time they need us, here they come. And as soon as we fix shit, it's back to normal for a while, up until it gets past that threshold to where they feel like they are not completely one-upping everyone else, and then it's back to the bus nigga bitch. Like, that's what it is. Something's got to change, and it may be worth the thought to maybe start thinking about how uncomfortable you're willing to be temporarily to get up and build something together, you know, with that same level of faith that y'all devote to white Jesus. That's it. That's all. Lyric, anything to add?
You slayed that.
Thank you much. Wildfowls, up next.
So you trying to convince me working 60 to 70 hours a week is normal and you still can't afford shit, dedicating yourself to somebody's company for 30 to 40 years and retiring at that company and only get maybe a year's worth of vacation in them 30 to 40 years that you've been working there? That is normal that we gonna keep participating in this fucking job market that don't give a fuck about? This shit is all a scam. This shit designed for us never to win. You know how many people that don't even make $50,000 a year? You know how many people make under $50,000 a year and try to support a family of 5? If you lucky to make anything over $50,000, you fucking blessed. And I'm just keeping it above. Because this job market is designed for you to never win. We get up every single day and stress about a bunch of shit that doesn't even matter. Go to a company that say, "Ooh, the robot's gonna replace us. Y'all don't come to work and be dedicated to this company." Replace us with them. Who the fuck gonna buy your motherfucking product? A bunch of robots? Because that's who gonna be at the store shopping to get the shit. Because we ain't gonna make no money from your company if you try to replace it. You can try to make that idea come up. You can try to scare a whole bunch of people with that idea. But the only way you gonna get your product bought out the fucking store if y'all just give us money. That is the only way that shit gonna work. Other than that, shut the fuck up with all that robot gonna replace you if you don't go to work and dedicate yourself to somebody else's fucking dream. When you gonna be able to chase your own dream? When you gonna be able to find your own path in life? But you can't. You gotta dedicate yourself to somebody's company for 60 to 70 hours a week and still can't afford shit. That's what we gonna keep participating in? I think the fuck not. I'm so over this job market, these companies that don't want to give us shit and want us to come and dedicate all that time to their shit. Fuck this bullshit. That's just my opinion, just being honest. Fuck these jobs. Just my opinion. We quick to say fuck these kids. How about saying fuck these jobs? Just my opinion.
Why do you have roaches?
The why file.
Why do my children hate me?
On WRTR Real Talk Radio.
Why did my vagina burn?
The truth is out there.
Explaining the unexplained. We're answering why to the questions you want to know by taking your skeets over on Blue Sky at WRTR Radio, and we also take your emails at WRTRradio@gmail.com. This is the Why Files. Remember, the truth is out there, and since I put Dookie in the title, we got all kind of Why Files this week, baby. We got like 3 of them over here, but I'm trying to figure out which one I'm gonna read. You go. I mean, okay, I got something that's personal that I was going to do as my own. I got something from a new listener, and then I got something with a why from somebody that got a problem with something I said last week.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, depending on how we want my mood to swing is how I'm that's how I'm going to answer these. What you got? Your why is from
My why comes from me. And my why is, why hasn't someone punched Lily Gaddis in the face?
Okay. Well,
Yes.
I think they have. Hold on. Let me Google that.
Nope.
Go ahead.
I don't think they have.
They haven't?
So, who is that? She is I guess, unapologetic racist who went online mocking black women in blackface.
Oh, that's her whole thing. That's like one of her things. Lily Gaddis is a racist influencer. So she's somebody that's on the extreme MAGA, that's I'm MAGA, I hate niggers, and I don't care that everybody sees it.
And this particular video that I saw, sporting hoop earrings, a bonnet, and blackface.
Yep.
Why ain't somebody punch her ass in the motherfucking face yet? Guess what?
Well, what's that?
Them pockets got punched.
Yep.
Because she got demonetized.
Yep. Not only that, but she got fired from her job. This was like a year ago. She got allegedly fired from her job after casually dropping the N-word. And her response was like, quote, "Thanks, black community, for helping launch my new career in conservative media. You all played your role well as the puppets you are. And as a result, now them pockets from that social media content got clipped too, boo."
Yep. Yeah, because what you thought, you got fired from your job for being a racist? You thought social media was going to protect you?
You thought.
Absolutely not. Demonetized. And you said YouTube was the whole source of your income? Not anymore, bitch.
Pretty much. People have been doing that. And have you seen those GoFundMe accounts for people that'll say like nigga out loud and it'll be white people that say some fuck shit or get in trouble, and then all of a sudden they have this GoFundMe up, and but they stopped that shit too. GoFundMe, yeah, they cut those back too.
Good,
absolutely,
good,
absolutely. I'm gonna go with why. I'm gonna do the why from me, because the other two are a lot heavier than I want to be right now. This why comes from me, and it's the why I think wrestling is problematic.
Oh my God. Okay.
And let's just use let's use trolling as the example for that. Jake Paul, that is a social media influencer. He's not even a real boxer. Let's be clear. This is a social media influencer that goes and does things to build his... He does that to go and build his following, to make videos, to make content. I'm not saying that he's not capable of being a professional fighter, but from what we know of Jake Paul now, that is not the case. And I think wrestling and performative sports like wrestling and stuff that's not real, I think that the not real of it all does us real harm. And I think that it normalizes mediocrity being some sort of a replacement for actual hard work, dedication, and above all, qualifications. And people aren't able to very much so distinguish professionals from actors. Because wrestling for so long in my life, I can remember being a kid in the 80s and 90s and never being interested in wrestling, but all of my friends were. I was like, this is fake. Why do y'all even watch this? Like, he clearly didn't kick him. No, he kicked him, and this, that, and the third. And then it's like it plants that seed that we see grow up into bigger conspiracies like the fuck shit we living in right now. I've always felt wrestling and performative shit to just be so harmful to what it is. I even feel the same way about porn if we keep it at a buck. Because porn, again, makes unrealistic expectations of what sex is and should be between two or more people.
That's true. But most people know that it's just entertainment, though, except for like children.
Yeah, but see, those
nobody
children...
Nobody thinks that shit is real.
No, it's a lot of people that really think that shit is real, and these people are athletes. They hired the damn WWF bitch to be the Department of Education lady. So yeah, I've always felt.
But who hired her though?
Another fucktard and fraud.
Exactly. Most people who are intelligent know that shit is fake. Is what I'm saying.
But most people aren't intelligent. I think that it makes the curve that
I
just
mean,
much
if you
more
want
lower.
to get down to the nitty gritty, then you should say the same for professional sports. Any professional sports. To me, I feel like I've always said this. I feel like that shit is rigged.
I've never liked football because. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me finish your thought. Why do you think it's rigged? Well, I mean, obviously.
I just feel like it is rigged. And if I'm not mistaken, quite a few athletes have said it. I can't remember exactly who said it, but they alluded to it. But yeah, that shit is rigged. It just seems like y'all already know who y'all want to go to the Super Bowl ahead of time. You already know who you want to go to the NBA championship ahead of time.
I kind of feel the same. I've always felt that way.
It's like the refs be making these wild calls and shit. And you be like, what the fuck are we all have eyes. What the fuck is you talking about? Like, it's blatant. And I think it's on purpose.
Wow. Well, I don't really partake much in watching like sports and shit, but when I do watch, I do look at it and I'd be like, I mean, football and stuff, I know the game, I know the rules. I don't get back and forth or being outraged over calls the same way I do things that affect my actual life, but I can see where people, like it, and I can see the excitement in it all. But for my thoughts, it's always been football was really bad for athletes because it would bring people in and then they get into this mainstream where they're thrown a whole bunch of money, very little financial competence, very little education in most cases, and suddenly their lives change. And then they're out here, they're putting their bodies on and just hurting their bodies. They damage their bodies. The injuries that they endure with their bodies, they carry that shit through life.
Yeah.
And then they spit these people back out, much like they do homeless veterans. Veterans that are now homeless because we don't take care of them. It's the same cycle over and over and over. You use people.
And that's why you see stories about ex-football people's killing their girlfriends and asking ChatGPT how to get rid of them.
Yeah, that part. The fact that that you have people like Stefan Diggs that goes out here having all these babies and then gets let go because you are not the flavor of the week or because your decisions are costing Massa a lot more than you are giving him as an income. Interesting how that works, right? It's funny, right? I wonder why. But that's why we come here, to talk about why. I guess the truth is out there.
Damn.
And we wrap up this week's Why Files. Again, answering why for you over on the socials. News to make you nauseous is up next.
The Target boycott is over. At least that's what Jamal Bryant and them done told them people. Yeah. But see, here's the thing. Y'all remember, I told y'all this last year. Remember I kept telling y'all, I was like, him and Al Sharpton trying to hijack the movement. Y'all know I've been on that man's neck since last year when they tried that bullshit, and I kept trying to tell y'all, I was like, somebody need to get to him and say no. And he thought that if he grabbed the likes of Tamika Mallory and I don't know, I forgot who the other lady is or whatever, that they was gonna get together and speak for black people. No, you ain't. No, you're not. Because where's them creators that, we were out here supporting that they threw their stuff basically out on the street and told them they had to take their stuff off the shelves? Where are those, where's the sorry to those folks that, had to find new logistics plans and what have you? Because, baby, they had inventory ready to go to the stores and Target was like, no, we're going to side with these people. Where the DEI policies? And see, here's the thing. Even though black women specifically do not, benefit as much as people like to think, because, now the white women is like, what? We DEIers too? Dang. We thought it was just them. Sis. It's y'all too. It's mainly y'all. But anyways, he was out here talking about the boycott is over. Who boycott? Now, you might manage some little people in your flock, but you don't manage everybody else. And like I said, I've been on his neck since last year about this shit. Absolutely not, sir. Absolutely the fuck not. We are not going back in that store. They better get like Kmart. No offense to them people. They better get like Eckert. Rite Aid for a little razzle dazzle. Because I know you lying. We're not going back in there. And I don't know. I think they done gave them some like little cute creative spaces and whatnot. So they thinking, you know, like black people, they going to convince. No. No. The 92% said fuck no. We're not going back in there. How many y'all going back in there? Now I will say, I do miss the Bullseye Playground spot. Because look, that little area used to be so fucking clutch. But I guess I'm on the Oriental Trading website, and I just had to wait for the little stuff to get here because I got to make these little Easter baskets for the babies. But absolutely not. No, we're not going back in there. I don't know who gave you the wherewithal to say, yeah, I got the black people, and you know we coming. And you was cute with your little picture and stuff, with all y'all in your matching T-shirts and shit. But no, big dog, that's not how this works. And Michael Fidelki. Baby, you done spent some money. It ain't gonna have the ROI that you expected. Because I know you's out here leveraging, thinking y'all gonna make these little cute new Target stores and update the other ones and hire more people and do all this other little stuff. You know, get back on the little list. Because the people that I know who spent embarrassing amounts of money at Target was just like, child, you don't even know how you save my budget. And then with gas being over $3, no, we don't need to go back up in there. You ain't really gave us a full, wholehearted, you know, apology. Y'all done, you know, tried it. And of course, you know, they've got a couple of black creators on it talking about, you know, yeah, this new stuff in Target, baby, we do not care. The only way we're going to get, you know, Target stuff is when we go to these little discount pop-up shops that be popping up around town and whatnot. And you go get the stuff for discount prices. Or it's in Ollie's. Or the Bargain Hut, whatever it is. But we're not going back in the Target. I'm sorry. I will say I did go in there one time. But that was to get my anxiety meds. That was it. After that, nope. Sorry. Can't help you. So, black women, black men, are y'all going back in there? Because Jamal Bryant said, gone in there. That's what he said.
And now, say what? News to make you nauseous on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Let's go.
Why are you falling out?
Oh my gosh, bro.
What happened?
That's crazy. I'm just reading up more about him getting released.
Oh, you mean Stephon Diggs?
So, released to save them $16.8 million.
Where are you reading this on?
Google.
Oh, okay. Google.
They condense all the site stuff into like one thing. That is funny.
Yeah. Well,
should have never brought that bitch to the Super Bowl.
These are some of the stories you might not read about in the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal. It's news to make you nauseous. You went first last time, so I'll go first this time.
Okay.
Say what? Chicago, Illinois.
Say what?
Donald Trump, Chicago hotel bombed health inspection. Didn't bomb. It bombed the health inspection.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean. According to TMZ, Donald Trump's hotel in Chicago failed a recent food inspection. TMZ has confirmed the Trump International Hotel and Tower, Chicago's main kitchen, room service, and Terrace 16 restaurant failed food inspections by the Chicago Department of Public Health on December 17th. 2025, according to reports obtained by TMZ. People reports the inspection found small insects in the bar area, in the dash area, plus a dish machine that was not properly sanitizing, and a sink in the prep area that drained wastewater onto the floor. The inspection also reportedly found perishable foods being stored at too high a temperature and raw shellfish missing sell by or served by date labels. Records show passing grades for a reinspection the following week. They reached out to Trump's hotel. Again, this is on TMZ. So far, no word back. Interesting. So y'all just want to roll back World Health Organizations and different programs so y'all can continue to sell, allegedly. Well, at least at that point in time, y'all, before the health inspector got there, y'all were just willy-nilly selling old shellfish, insects in people's drink, and wastewater on the floor. Oh, well. And all of y'all voted, because he's a good businessman. He's going to run this country like business. So.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm not letting off white people this week. Nope.
Well, you shouldn't, because I'm about to fuck your head up for this one.
Oh, hell. Here we go.
All right, you ready for this?
No.
Say what, Baltimore, Maryland?
Say what?
Oh, fuck. And you said white people too? Oh, no. I forgot we had them here.
A Maryland paramedic is facing 23 criminal charges after prosecutors allege he urinated in various areas at his workplace.
Oh, you talking about we talked about this already. We talked about this a few weeks ago when I said that he was fucking, it was on the roof and it was on the handles and shit and it was on the locker doors. You don't remember that man was skeeting all over the place?
No, this isn't skeet. Is it the same guy?
Was he masturbating?
Doesn't say anything about skeet. He was pissing on stuff.
Oh, no, this was the masturbation. Oh, y'all got different dick juice now. Okay, sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this just happened.
This is a thing in Baltimore. Lord, let me get my plastic gloves. Jai Christ.
He worked with the Baltimore County Fire Department, and he was pissing on things while in his uniform. Personal property and shared items. His supervisor's keyboard. The coffee creamer at a public safety building.
Creamer. You nasty bitch.
The large ice maker at fire station number 2. Prosecutors said that he urinated.
That's where the best ice is, at fire station number 2.
He urinated into the ice, wiped on a scoop, and used the scoop to mix the urine throughout the ice in the ice maker before making a thumbs up gesture to the camera.
Wait, I did it and wanted y'all to know?
Yes. Another video allegedly showed Carroll contaminating additional items, including a carton of orange juice, hand soap, an individual's chapstick, a can of vegetables, an air conditioning vent in the firehouse, and a can of scented room spray in his doctor's office waiting room.
Y'all are not well. Y'all are not well. Is there a mugshot of this person? Is there a mugshot of this person?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to
I would very much so like to see this mugshot.
Oh my God, bro.
He looks exactly like I would have expected him to look. Let me just say that. So I'll give y'all a bit of a break this week. If you want these and more nauseating news stories, make sure you follow us over on the socials. We're on Blue Sky at WRTR Radio. I'm also over there on Blue Sky at MARCUSSMOOT, and on TikTok, a new joint, The Marcus Smoot, and already a first warning. Strike.
Oh my God.
I ain't post but 5 videos. Y'all already trying to take me out. Fuck y'all.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I spread a lot of information, and I don't use AI. I don't use bullshit videos. I'm getting information from credible sources. So they view me as a threat because I'm not out here spreading propaganda. But, it is what it is. Follow me. Show me a little love over there. Again, that's The Marcus Smoot.
Well, I'm on TikTok as well. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, Snapchat sometimes when I'm feeling bored.
Work.
But it's all under the name Lyric Bravado on all social media platforms.
Except when you Google her and that white woman come up.
Child, they better fix that shit.
Up next on Real Talk, since I gave y'all a shitty one last week, I'm going to go ahead and do better this week. We'll be back with a Watch This With Me. We'll be right back.
Every time a president needs to redirect this country's attention, they don't hold a press conference, they don't admit failure, they don't fix the issue. They reach for the one phrase that's covered up more mess than tarp on a crime scene: national security. Because in America, national security doesn't always mean protection. Sometimes it means stop asking questions. And the playbook goes back way further than people think. Take Woodrow Wilson. The economy was unstable. Racial violence was ripping through cities. Labor strikes were everywhere. And instead of dealing with that, he pointed the country towards foreign radicals and internal enemies. That framing justified censorship, raids, surveillance, and deportations, all while domestic crises kept burning. That was the blueprint, and no president after him really ever let it go. And administrations across both parties used the same move. Harry Truman was dealing with inflation, a housing crisis, and a huge labor unrest. He didn't invent the Red Scare, but he sure leaned on it. He launched a federal loyalty program so broad that millions of workers could be investigated for sympathies that no one could really define. And suddenly, the story wasn't economic instability. It was communists in our government. Franklin D. Roosevelt used military necessity to justify incarcerating Japanese Americans. Despite intelligence agencies reporting no evidence of sabotage, national security language did the heavy lifting for a decision rooted in racism, politics, and panic. Dwight Eisenhower saw school segregation and racial terror threatening this country from the inside. And instead of addressing the white violence driving it, he worried publicly that the Soviet Union would exploit American unrest. It reframed a domestic crisis into geopolitical embarrassment. Richard Nixon turned crime into a national security threat. Ronald Reagan turned drugs into one. George W. Bush turned terror into the umbrella for surveillance and endless war. Donald Trump has turned immigration into this shit show. Different decades, different parties, same calculation. If you convince Americans that the biggest threat is out there, they stop asking why everything inside is falling apart. National security doesn't just shape foreign policy. It justifies surveillance, secrecy, expanded police powers, ballooning military budgets, labeling dissent as unpatriotic. And while cameras turn outward, domestic failures quietly slip off the national agenda. You don't hear about failing schools if coverage is dominated by border threats. You don't hear about poverty if leaders say the real danger is overseas extremism. You don't hear about racial violence unless the government reframes unrest as a security threat. It's not protection, it's narrative management. So here's the truth that nobody teaches. National security has always been a mirror that presidents turn outward, especially when they don't want the country looking inward. Every time you hear that phrase, I need you to ask, what domestic failure is this supposed to pull my attention away from? Who benefits when I'm afraid of the world instead of questioning what's happening at home? Because presidents don't reach for national security when they're strong. They reach for it when they're cornered. And once you see that pattern, yeah, you can't unsee it.
Keeping it 100. It's Real Talk. On WRTR, Real Talk Radio. We keep it real.
Okay, so I made another TikTok choice this week since, like I said, last week I made up some shit on the fly. So this one is a watch this with me if you're down. For audience context, I sent this to Lyric, and I don't know if she watched it yet, but this video is on the page of @Forever X Woo, who looks to be a Texas makeup artist, and her profile says that she is an HR professional, travel agent, and virtual stylist.
Okay.
Okay, so I know y'all probably seen this video right here. This here is my ex. He is talking about me. I am the girl that canceled his flight when we were in Cyprus. I did indeed cancel his flight. And it was because not only did he hit me while we was out there, he was verbally abusing me and texting other women while we was on the trip that I paid for. Not to mention, this trip had been planned since 2 months prior. I did purchase the flights because I said that, you know, it was his birthday. Not only did I purchase the flights, I paid for his clothes. I packed his clothes. I bought toiletries. I also made a snack bag for the airplane, even down to the neck pillow, just because I'm that detailed. Like, I had been planning and I just wanted everything to be right for his birthday. So yes, we were arguing at the airport, but it was because he was texting other women that I had found out maybe like a day before, and I'll attach the screenshots somewhere in the video. But even then, I was like, you know, like, let's just go, like, let's just have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's your birthday and we'll figure out the rest, because, you know, I've already paid for it. You know, I didn't want the trip to go to waste, and I feel like we was mature enough to just still have a good time. So I thought. So as you can see right here, we was at the airport, like, things was good. Like, we was just going to have a good time and kind of just go from there. We'll just kind of just vibe. So we get there, and it's the first night, and we're getting ready for dinner. Like I said, I had planned a whole itinerary, so we were going to go to dinner. We were also going to go to a show, and then we were going to go to the bar and then the club. I'll post the itinerary if I can find it. I'll post it somewhere along this video that I had made for his birthday. So he's getting ready, and he looks in his bag, and he's like, babe, like, where's my socks? And I'm like, I'm like, damn, like, I forgot your socks. Like, that was the only thing I forgot. I swear to God. I'm like, damn, I forgot your socks. You know, but I'm thinking, I'm like, they have a market downstairs. Like, we can just go down to the market right before dinner, and we can see if they got some socks. We went down there. They had socks, but they didn't have any his size. So he has an attitude about it. So he's being overly rude. He's like, I don't need you to pack shit else for me. Don't fucking pack my stuff for me no more. Like, just going on and on about the socks. Like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, you can cancel everything tonight. I'm not going to dinner. I'm not going to no show. I'm not doing nothing. I'll just order some food to the room, and I'll just stay in the room. So at this point, I'm feeling like a little bit unappreciated. Like, you know, like, you're doing all of this about some socks. So at this point, I'm not going to let you ruin something that I planned. I'll just go enjoy it myself. So I went to dinner by myself. I went to the show by myself. And I ended up going to the bar. And not only was I just sitting with the couple by myself, it was the couple, a bartender, and it was one other person. And we were all kind of like conversing. Even the bartender was drinking with us. So we're all drinking, the bar's getting ready to close, and he comes down, and as we're all sitting at the table, he's like, come the fuck on, you don't even know these people. I'm just looking like just so embarrassed and disgusted. Like, so after that, of course, I do not get up, because now I'm feeling played. Like, why are you even doing all of this right now? If you don't want to do anything, that's fine, but you're not finna ruin something good for me. So at this point, they're about to go out off the resort to go to the club. So I'm like, you know, of course I want to tag along. Because I don't want to go to the room and be into it with you for what? Like, I'm going to go out. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to enjoy myself. So I go out and I come back around 3 a.m. Yes, I was sitting on the golf cart because I had on red bottoms and I wasn't about to walk to the room when they have people there that'll escort you there. But I am arguing with the people, letting them know that I left my ID in the taxi and could they call the taxi for me. And they basically was saying, yeah, like, as we was coming to agreement, like, he was walking up. So I'm telling him what's going on, and he's like, you're just surrounded around a bunch of men in the middle of nowhere, and you're by yourself and stuff like that. Mind you, yes, I'm lit, but if anybody knows me, I'm never just out of my body drunk, especially if I'm by myself. I've solo traveled by myself. I've been to Thailand. I've been to Colombia. I've been to a lot of places by myself, self-traveling by myself alone. So I'm very self-aware and aware of my surroundings. And he wanted me to leave my ID there overnight in a taxi. And I'm like, no, when we can just establish this right now and I can get my stuff right now. But at this point, he's like, oh, he gently like escorted me back to the room. No, he damn near drugged me to the room. And that's when he put his hands on me, and I'll put the pictures right here. So even then, the next morning I get up and I'm still trying to keep the peace, because, you know, at this point, like, it's still about to be his birthday. I'm still just trying to find some kind of peace. So he's still going on and on about it. So at this point, I'm kind of being curious, and I see his Apple Watch. So I go through his Apple Watch again, and he's texting more women off of dating apps while we're on the trip together that I paid for. And so now at this point, this is pretty much it for me. Like, canceling his flight is already on my mind. But what put the icing on the cake is that, you know, Europe has a certain type of adapter that goes into the wall. So I'm asking him, can I use his, because he purchased one and I wasn't able to purchase one at the time because the store wasn't open. And so he basically was just like, no, like, I can't use his stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now you're just being extrally spiteful. Okay, let me be spiteful too, so you can figure out your flight plans home. And not only did I cancel his flight, but I also made my friends go over to my house and pack up his stuff and have it waiting for him. My parents drove from Houston to Dallas to help him move his things and to escort him out of my home. Because you're not going to physically abuse me, verbally abuse me, mentally abuse me, like, you're financially abusing me. Like, I had been paying rent at that apartment for 3 months by myself, and that was the only time we had lived together. I helped him get a job because I work in HR. I did him 2 resumes, applied for jobs for him, and the job that he landed, he was making more money than he ever made, and he still complained about the job. I even have receipts from his ex that he dated for 3 years, how he did the same thing to her, mentally, verbally, financially.
Can we talk, yo?
And all of these things. Like, this is just what he does to women. Even after all of that, and a year later, he's still messing with me. He's still texting my friends. He's still stalking my Instagram. He's still making videos about me. Like, this is, like, insane. But this is just me telling half of what happened in Cyprus. Like, that does not even just sum up the whole gist of our relationship. I could have been did a story time a long time ago, but I just didn't even care enough to. Like, I just wanted to move on. And I am happily in a new relationship now. Like, I don't care about him. I'm not thinking about him. I had been seeing the video and I wasn't even going to address it. But when I seen that it kind of started blowing up, I'm like, you know, I'm not going to let him get clout off my name, especially when he's fabricating.
Thoughts? Because I have this is so much to unpack. Well, first off, it's very young. I mean, let's be honest, this is very young. But isn't it also fun to be this age and look back, or just look at situations like that with the perspective that we have?
I wouldn't necessarily say it was fun.
Well, it's fun for me to have the wisdom.
It's a lesson learned, I will say that. Speaking from experience as far as what she said, as far as mental abuse and financial abuse and all of that stuff, what I've learned from that is stop doing that shit. There is power in the word no. It really is. And it really shows you who people are when you say no.
Yep, it really does. I mean, and my only, well, not even advice, but my comment on this is just looking at this, I'm seeing so many places where the exit was right there. And again, I'm not picking on this particular young lady. I'm speaking from experience. Because I can look back at my own situations and I can be like, oh, yeah, that was the moment that I should have rolled, or otherwise. Yeah. So, I mean, you had the point where a day before your trip, you found out that he was texting other women. Why did the trip happen, birthday or not? I don't care if it's your birthday. We have to address this right now. What do you mean? At the very least, we're not going on a trip together, especially internationally, to where I don't know nobody else but your black ass. No, baby, I'm not going nowhere with you, because you've already proven to me that I cannot trust you. You've proven that to me domestically. I'm not about to take this act internationally. And then on top of that, you then acted shocked and appalled that he was still texting bitches, because you, again, did not say anything. You didn't say anything the first time. So to be extra pissed off that he's doing it again when you already knew that before you left he's doing it, not making you the victim, the person, I'm not making you responsible, but again, just highlighting some of the things that, like Lyric said, there's words in the power with no. Highlighting some of the boundaries at this point. He broke. Is there
a way that you can say this happened to you? Isn't there a way that you could I guess you couldn't get a refund, but couldn't you like cancel the flight and get it in somebody else's name? Can you have taken somebody else?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You can change. Because baby, absolutely. The way I would have took me and my homegirl. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. me and my homegirl, my homeboy, somebody going with me
Yeah.
other than that nigga.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nope.
Because guess what? You could be fuck nigga free
And
the whole trip.
Yep.
Deal with whatever you got going on when you get back. But baby, that nigga would have been here.
The point to get
At
away is
home.
to get
What you
away.
talking about?
I'm going to get away. I'm going to de-stress. I'm going to hunch on somebody else. And when I get back, then I'm going to throw your black ass out. But
Period.
better yet, I'd have still had my family come and get his shit. While he was there, I'd have told him he was coming. If he's not out, if he ain't got his shit out, they will be there to help him.
Better yet, change them motherfucking lock.
I mean, she can't
while
do it.
he's out.
Oh, no. She knew
Yes,
beforehand.
she can.
Yes, she can. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Change them motherfucking locks while he's out. You can get your stuff when I'm back from my trip.
Mm-hmm.
Stop playing.
Or Big Daddy going to be over there
What?
to help you get your stuff. Because I don't have to see you anymore. And just let that be it. But the fact that it continues, it's when that builds on. Because now you're in a different country. And now you're out here getting extra drunk because, A, it's his birthday. So, you want to turn up. But let's be honest. This is your vacation. So you want to turn up even further. You find some somewhat friendly people and then decide to leave the resort, girl, with knowing nobody else, girl. Not necessarily the best decisions. Again, I'm not beating you up, but what I'm saying is that look at the decisions that you're making over a nigga where the problem is the nigga. Had you removing that obstacle could have changed the course of your entire trip.
Yup. Facts. Cause you could have took one of your homegirls, y'all could have found you a nice little club to go to, or whatever the case may be, and turned up the whole trip.
Yep.
But you let this nigga come and put his motherfucking dirty ass, groundy motherfucking hands on your ass.
Yeah.
The mongrel.
Yeah.
Absolutely the fuck not. And I hope you got some family
She does.
who would have put
They are
hands
right there.
on his motherfucking ass since he want to be so touchy-feely.
They put
'Cause
hands.
absolutely.
They put hands
I
in
would file
the bag.
File reports too, man.
Yeah.
Stop letting that shit go. That's why they repeat the behavior, because they have no consequences they have to suffer behind that shit. Get you a restraining order because you say he's still following you. He's still seeking you out, sending you messages on your social media. That's stalking. And he has history of being abusive
And
physically.
Yeah.
Get some papers on that nigga.
Yeah. And also, sis, regardless if you saw something scroll across your For You page and it made you feel a type of way, why is this nigga not blocked? And even by way of happenstance, somebody else reposted it, it went viral, it's everywhere. At what point in time do you really think that you're over something if you're triggered enough to need to respond to it online afterward? Ask yourself that. Are we really over it? Or was this a bad situation and maybe, we need to work to kind of let that shit go a little bit?
Probably so. Probably a little bit of both. But I'm not
Maybe
saying.
something to look into.
I understand though, because the pity in me, like, if I see something going viral and I know that motherfucker is sitting here lying on my name, say like I got a whole bunch of businesses or something going on, like you never know. I'm not letting that motherfucker sit up there and tell all these millions of people lies on me too. So I see it a little bit different. She does have the right to defend herself.
She does.
However,
but legally, I would have slapped him with
cover
so many.
yourself too, though, boo.
Yeah.
Cover yourself too. Go to the police, make those reports, and then look, you are preventing somebody else from making that mistake that you made by choosing this nigga.
And if somebody is outwardly, publicly affecting your income or your revenue based off of something in hearsay, you may want to talk to a lawyer about what legal options that you have available.
There you go. Clock that shit. Clock
Just
that
saying.
shit, because this is the thing. This is one of the things that I wish I had to realize when I was younger. Instead of me trying to fight back with these and this, I'm getting a lawyer. I'm suing because I'm too old for the going back and forth. I'm not fighting you.
Not doing it.
Bitch, you put hands on me, I'ma shoot you.
Yep.
Straight like that. I'm not playing fair anymore, because people ain't playing fair with me.
Nope.
So, yeah, I'ma sue your ass.
So, well, that's how we feel about it. Keep the conversations going. Hit us up. You can do so. WRTRradio@gmail.com. We're on the web everywhere you are at WRTRradio.transistor.fm across all major podcasting apps and everywhere else. So, just wanted to remind you guys that this week we are a part of Podcaston. Podcaston.org is about convincing as many hosts as possible to dedicate one episode of our show to a charity of our choice and release those episodes simultaneously in a coordinated effort mid-March 2026. That's right now. So that being said, proceeds of this week's episode will go to our charity of choice. Once again, please head on over to podcaston.org to show your support from ours and every other participating platform. Who knows? You can find another show to add to your podcasting rotation while at the same time supporting a good cause. Once again, that's podcaston.org. Miss Lyric, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Nope. That's it. That's all. I hope they catch that naked man that's running around with no drawers. That's the guy said.
No, but he did make the point to say that once the man got into the house, of course, then he would disrobe. He wasn't just out there, slinging, dick knocking over, making dents in cars and shit. But, it is what it is.
He might have a micro penis. You don't know.
That's true.
That gives micro penis energy.
I feel like if I had a micro penis, I would be afraid that crows would attack me if I went out naked.
Because it looked like an acorn.
Yeah, or it looks like a little worm or something, You just come down and they descend. Because it's like kind of just there peeking out of the grass a little bit. And you just be like, oh my God, birds are attacking me. Why? I just feel like it would be dangerous. See, this is my mind and my anxiety. And this is why I've not been well this week. Because my mind makes up the most ridiculous scenarios.
Well, to that naked nude man, be careful whose house you break into next, because it might be your last, because people ain't playing nowadays.
Yes. And remember, once you go back to your house, make sure you have your clothes on, or your apartment especially if you're renting. Because if you go in that apartment and then you want to woo-saw, you are one shart away from losing your security deposit. Just saying. That wraps up this week's WRTR Real Talk Radio. Once again, thanks so much for listening. We will holler at y'all again in the future at some point. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
WRTR Real Talk Radio.
This week's show featured work from TikTok creators 7 News DC, Aaron Parnas 1, Ashley the Baroness, MS Now, ABC News Live, CNN, Kiki Ray Real, Lamar F35, Daughter of James, and Forever X Woo, always using our platform to amplify your voices.